Hello, welcome to the CRL show. I'm Paul Arandale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
Welcome to another episode of the CRL show. Most of the footy got through on the weekend. I seem to be talking about this every week, that there's always some washouts. It was here in our own backyard in Newcastle. They couldn't get a game on.
Yeah.
But everywhere else seemed to get across unscathed. A few sort of postponements, but other than that, lots of footy played. And a lot more footy happening this weekend. Geoff, did you get out and see anything on the weekend?
Yeah, I went down south, went to Tumut, to Twickenham. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Fantastic name for a ground. But it was a cracker of a game. Tumut vs Gundagai. It was a really close game. Great crowd. The weather was fine. Great little ground down there. But it was great to see some Group 9 action. Yeah,
it's a good little venue. Obviously, we better talk about the elephant in the room. We've got a new little setup.
No.
Budget, who would have thought? It's going up, next week.
For all those people that watch us
we might have a live audience next week or something, who knows,
From the get-go, there was a previous show called The Shed. I don't know, is there someone out there that's watched every episode? I don't know whether they need to be, counselled or something. But that was in your shed. We literally started in your shed, and we used to have to worry about the sun setting through the corrugated iron and hitting the face. I'm like, look at where we are now, baby. This is like next level. So thanks to BarTV. They're keeping us next echelon of podcasts.
Yep.
Podcasts.
Next, all they need is a couple of better hosts and the show will just go berserk.
Don't go too far,
Right, there was a couple of moments I saw on the weekend, like nothing sort of out of the ordinary, but just a couple of sort of interesting tries. So I'll get them up for you now. Obviously, if you're listening, you can go to the website and watch these. But the first one from Ben Talty, North Sydney Bears, swan dives. I haven't seen a good swan dive for a couple of years, but that was an absolute beauty.
Prop forward. I don't know, he's thought about that a lot over the years. Like he thought, if I ever score, he had that 5 metres to think about, I'm going to do a big swanny.
And it was a try from a charge down, but just the thump of you would have heard that.
Yeah.
But Tom Mitchell then picks it up. But you see a lot of charge downs, but you don't see too many tries from charge downs.
And is it a try assist?
It should be. Finally, we've got Tom Rodwell of the Sydney Roosters. This is probably the ugliest, worst try, smallest kicks for a try I've ever seen. There's the first one. There's the second one. Tom picks it up, scores. We'll have a replay of it slowed down. The commentator didn't really know what happened. That's why I had to slow it down and watch it again, because it was an unusual, ugly try, but to make it even more sort of worse, horrible, whatever, it was the first try of the game. And, I don't think we'll ever see a try like that again.
4 points are 4 points.
Yeah. Again, if you're listening, get to bartv.com.au and have a look back at that Tom Rodwell try, because very odd. But
I'm curious, like when they measure stats and kicking metres, that second one, does it count as a kick? I don't think it would have gone an inch. I don't know, it's like kicking metres, at the start of the game, or if that's the only kick he did in the whole game.
We'll have to look that up, because they do have plenty of stats for the knock-on effect cup, so we might be able to look that up.
And also mindful that the Roosters on the other wing had Dom Young playing.
Yes.
Who has scored some of the most outrageously amazing tries. The prettiest tries, maybe.
Yes.
And watching from afar going, wow, I guess it counts, but that was a good pickup. That was crazy.
Yeah, so there are a couple of sort of little moments that happened on the weekend. Obviously, there would have been a few more sort of interesting moments. So let us know. Go to contact@bartvsports.com.au if you saw an interesting moment that happened around the traps. We'd love to share it, and we can talk about it on next week's show, maybe.
Yeah, love them.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get into some of the results that happened on the weekend. Geoff, you've got the paper, so do I. We'll start off first. It was the New South Wales Rugby League Junior finals. It was a big day at Leichhardt Oval. Well done to the production crew, Sully, Morgan, Tarsha. They all did a fantastic job. Rob and Eli on the switch as well. It was a massive day for all involved. But some interesting results. SG Ball went to extra time. Parramatta, you thought they had it won, then Sydney Roosters come from behind and picked up the win 33-26. And the Harold Mats, New Zealand Warriors defeated the Knights 30-16. Tasha Gale Cup went to the Indigenous Academy 28-16, and Lisa Fiola Cup final Parramatta 26-10 over the Central Coast. So Parramatta got 1 out of 3, so that's nothing to sneeze about.
Thanks to the Lisa Fiola ladies for getting the chocolate there, because they were looking good going into it. But, you know, to get teams in those finals, it was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
A knock-on effect cup. We saw some footage already of round 9. Parramatta defeated Newtown 28 points to 18. The Warriors convincing against North 56 points to 14. Close one in Newcastle. Newcastle went down, against South 26 points to 24. Canberra 16 points to 10 against Penrith. The Dragons 60 points to 26 against West, and Canterbury went down 38 to 31 against Sydney.
That was a real odd one. They led 25-12 at halftime, the Bulldogs. So it was a good win for the Roosters.
Yeah, great games.
Jersey Flegg, round 9, Cronulla 30-26 over Parramatta. Melbourne 38-12 over the Warriors. The Knights 42-6 over Souths. Canberra 34-12 over Penrith. Dragons 56-18 over Wests, and Canterbury 42-18 over the Roosters, and Manly 24-4 over the Cavite Silktails.
Yeah, nice. Now on the Ron Massey Cup, round 7, we've got Mounties comfortable against Wentworthville 32-12, St Mary's 38-4 against the Hills Bulls, 10-0 Ryde Eastwood over Penrith Brothers, and Blacktown 36-16 against Canterbury.
Canberra round 4, Belconnen 30-28 over Tuggeranong. Queanbeyan Kangaroos 46-12 over Woden Valley, and West Belconnen 24-10 over the Queanbeyan Blues, and Gungahlin 46-36 over Yass.
Now Illawarra, I kept an eye on Illawarra round 2 thanks to BarTV on the weekend. The Collies were very comfortable against Corrimal 68 points to 0. De La Salle defeated Dapto 36 points to 16. And West got a win, 30 points to 10 against the Rule in the grand final replay.
Yeah, nice. Group 7, round 4, Berry v Kiama, that was postponed, but the rest of the field got underway. Gerringong had a close win over Milton Ulladulla 14-12. Stingrays 42-12 over Nowra, and the feature match saw Shellharbour 32-24 over Albion Park. A little bit of a late comeback from the Eagles, but it was the win of the Sharks.
Yeah, cracker of a game. Brisbane round 7, the real magic happened in Brisbane A grade on the weekend. Redcliffe defeated Valleys 40 points to 8. Wynnum defeated Logan 42 points to 6. West defeated Carina 20 points to 4, and South Logan had the bye.
We head to Group 9, round 3. Wagga Kangaroos 36-12 over South City Bulls. Albury 60-4 over Brothers. Chimit 24-18 over Gundagai, Young 28-8 over Cootamundra, and Temora had a big win over Junee.
Covered the spread too. I don't know, we'll talk Challenge Cup later on, but I think Junee had 10.5.
Yep.
Or Temora had 10.5.
Yep.
And then went out and unleashed a 40-0 drubbing.
Yeah, well, yes, it's Temora and Wagga Brothers, I think, in the Challenge Cup this week. We've got the start. It's a very interesting one. The amount. I'll bring it up and around the groups. How's
Good.
that?
Okay, can't wait. Stay tuned. Wentworth the Central Coast round 4. The entrance and King Cumber were postponed. We're pretty lucky there wasn't that many games postponed considering the rain. Erina defeated Berkeley Vale 52-6. Wyong defeated Arimba 22 points to 16. That was a great game. And Toukley defeated Woy Woy 18 points to 10.
Yep, just the one catch-up game in the NSWRL. Casino 22-10 over Ballina. Ballina had a couple missing, but not taking anything away from Casino. It's a great win. It's been a long time since I think Casino's defeated Ballina. So
and
well
really,
done to the Cougars.
Like it's early days, but Ballina have gone down to Kyogle and now Casino. So you know, this is a team that I think maybe lost one game last season. So they, I guess it's not quite panic stations, but Ballina will be kind of like mindful to come out next week swinging.
Obviously Newcastle Rugby League was washed out and there was no games in the Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast because Brisbane Rugby League had their magic round at 3 different venues.
Exactly. And you know, like that's what we should have said, that lots of jerseys at some of those magic rounds. It'd be great if people wore their local rugby league jerseys at some of those games. Get out there and if, let's say, I don't know, a whole heap of Gold Coast or Sunshine Coast clubs said, look, let's just go to Magic Round.
Yep.
To go fully kitted. It would have been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, some great tries that happened on the weekend. We showed a couple of weird ones in our moments part, but we thought 5 really good tries. Here are our tries of the week. First up, we got Melly Nasua of the De La Salle. Now, I love tries that start in their own 10 or 20. Very Brisbane Broncos of the 90s. Yeah. And Melly with a step as well, the swerve, and just left the fullback for dead to score pretty much untouched.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I love when they just pin the ears down and run.
We go to reserve grade Canberra Rugby League, Ryan Chambers of the Gungal and Bulls, but watch out for the flick pass from the front row, Lionel Samuels. Here comes Chambers, linking up now with Samuels. There's the Sadler, I should say, the flick out the back, and a great try, great celebration from the Bulls.
Yeah.
Hickley Ioka, New Zealand Warriors.
What about the ball movement here from the Warriors? Absolute brilliance. Ioka, Morgan's got to his feet, but it was a little inside out.
Tom Casey, the Redcliffe Dolphins.
Linking back into line, Thomas. If they've spotted that, they might go towards him. Oh, here's a chance now opening up for McGrath. And it was that man, Corey Thomas, coming across to bring him down, but the play's still alive with the Redcliffe halfback, Thomas Casey. Oh, yeah, found the gap. They just kept it alive.
And finally, Luke Hanson of the New Zealand Warriors.
But since then, they've won their last 2. And they're about to win their 3rd in a row. Here's Boyd in the clear. Got Hanson for company. And on May the 4th, Luke will run away.
All right, there's some pretty damn good tries. Geoff, if you had to pick your favourite, which one?
I love the flick pass from, now what was it? I don't know who the flick pass was from, the try scored by Ryan Chambers. But also, I love that offload, the prop that sets prop, that up. Because you're looking at it going, sometimes you feel like waiting for the ref to call held. Those big fellas keep moving. And you got to credit him as well for that try. That was a cracker of a try.
And a shout out to Morgan Campbell too, who called the North Sydney Bears v New Zealand Warriors game on May the 4th. Little Star Wars remark there. Now, we did the Silk Tails v Manly game, and beforehand we were talking about May the 4th. Oh, we'll have to throw something in there, and we missed our opportunity. But Morgan, he's grabbed it with 2 hands.
Done well. In all fairness, when you've got a Luke playing, you're like, yes, I've got this nailed. There's not many Chewbaccas or Obi-Wans or any other ones. Not many Leahs even, except maybe in Ladies League Tag, but or the women's game. But he did well.
Yep, well done. And well done to all our try scorers, tries of the week. Some absolute beauties. All right, moving along, we'll get into our Around the Groups.
Beautiful. There's a bit of this, bit of that from Around the Groups this week. Starting off with a bit of controversy, it's sort of something that's been a bit... I've only got early information about it, so I'm not really sure where the decisions lie on this, but it's up at Group 19. The Walker... I actually won't say the club because I think someone involved in the club. I'm being very careful here because it wasn't like the club has put out some sort of statement. It's more that somebody in the club has kind of reacted to a decision where the Walker men, by the sound of it, I think at least in round 3 it seemed like it happened, forfeited. They couldn't field a team. And the decision, according to the people up there, is that when one team in your club forfeits, the rest of all the other teams should forfeit. Right. So I kind of was thinking, I do understand that there could be a rule in place in case you have a reserve grade team that needs to make a final or something and you forfeit your first grade guys and suddenly there's a whole heap in reserves. Could be a whole bunch of reasons around that. But what they're reacting to is that the Ladies League Tag team has to forfeit as well, where there's no connection whatsoever. It's not like you can forfeit your men's first grade. And if anyone's up around that area, Group 19 or in the Walker area, they may have some more information.
We'll try and, I think we should, do a bit of digging with that, see what the rule is, if it's a Group 19 rule. I doubt it's a New South Wales Rugby League rule.
No.
Or if it's just a club-based rule, but it seems very odd that you would just forfeit everything.
I didn't think it was a statewide rule because I've seen other competitions where the men have forfeited, and they say, but come down to watch the ladies' league tag and maybe even reserves and stuff. So, yeah, it's a bit unclear. We'll talk Magic Round soon, but I'll also talk about Shellharbour Sharks. Matt Carroll was presented last week with a lifetime membership jacket, which I think is awesome when you've got something you can actually say, this is what I've earned over the years. He said he might have done a bit of commentary here and there with BarTV, been involved in some way or another.
He actually might have been on the weekend. He was supposed to jump on the mic with Jack Clifton. Not too sure because I didn't actually catch any of the game.
But when you look at his stats, I love these, like this happens a bit where they say 50th and 100th game. When you look at his stats, though, like for life membership, he goes 2017 Mick Cronin medalist. He ran the premiership and man of the match in the grand final 2018. 2021, he was included in the team of the century for the Shellharbour Sharks at the halfback. He's the highest point scorer in Group 7 history.
Yeah.
And he's the first player to pass 2,000 points.
Wow.
So you look at that kind of rap sheet. I love getting these because often these are the kind of guys that probably don't go around talking about their stats and letting everyone know, oh, this is this and that. So that was a big week there. We've got Pro 10 Cup. Can we call the Pro 10 Cup a friend of the show? We need friends of the show. I suppose so.
Yeah, okay. We need friends of the show.
it's kicking off this week. So if anyone's around Barallan, they host their knockout. Every club's there. All the men's. Women's teams as well. Deniliquin will make their kind of debut, I guess, or return to Pro 10. And it kicks off on Saturday at 10 a.m. with the women's final at 3:20 in the Arvo and the men's final at 4 in the Arvo. I reckon it'll be a cracker of a day of rugby league. They're condensed games because that's a big day.
Yes.
So 15-minute halves for men's and 9-minute halves for women. And, you'll see Barallan, Rankin Springs, Denny, Ivanhoe, Narandra and Hillston will all be there. I think it's only Deniliquin that don't have a women's team yet.
Okay.
But that's because they're coming back in. They might be able to get one organised for next year.
Nice.
So Pro 10 has begun for those people. Sort of West Riverina, if you don't recognise some of those names. But it's a great community comp we've been following for a number of years now. Griffiths, I just wanted to mention as well, Griffiths is hosting a disability touch game in conjunction with one of their kind of not-for-profit providers that support young people and all people with a disability. What I really like about it is it's on Sunday, May 11th. It's the game before they're playing Leeton. The Griffith Waratahs are playing Leeton after this game. So I don't want to say, what do you call it, before the game. Maybe Griffith, they're kind of supporting the disability game.
Yeah.
What I really like about this was they're putting it out there for people to just come watch. So they're going to be a bunch of guys and gals who have not really played rugby league before. They're giving them a crack at playing, and they're saying get there early if you're going to go watch the Waratahs play Leeton. Get there before 2:00. Cheer them on. Watch the game. These are people with disabilities that need support. Outside of beyond their schooling and that kind of stuff. And they're raising money on the day for Griffiths Post-School Options, which is the kind of not-for-profit that's helping run this. But I thought, isn't that great that sometimes it's fantastic, any of it. When they say, come and be involved and that kind of stuff, what they're saying is, look, we've got it all good to go. We just need a crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're gonna go to the game, get there a bit early, cheer them on. I don't think they'll care who cheers for who. Just cheer on the teams. So that's coming up, and that's sort of me for around the groups.
All right, no worries. A few things there. So we'll touch on the Group 19 thing. A very, very odd situation up there. But the other thing was Group 7, Matt Carroll. Well done. But I don't know who keeps the stats. I mean, I am a bit of a stats nerd, but it's very hard to find stats, especially when you go back through the history, because back in the day, a lot of the stats were on the old Sports TG. That's gone. So all those stats have been wiped. Surely someone's kept them or whatever. And then playing RL, just recently, you've only got the draw for this year and last year. All the results from 20 or backwards to about 2019 have disappeared. Yeah. So it's very hard to keep track. So I don't know why rugby league seems so hell-bent on hiding stuff. Yeah,
I agree because I've tried to find stuff before and try to track things down. And what I've pondered is the old statistician of the club with a pen and paper probably did a better job. And that might be where a lot of this information's coming from.
Like, it's great. Matt Carroll's number 1 point scorer.
Yeah.
Who's coming second? Who's coming third? Is there someone playing that's a chance of
precisely?
getting
How
up
far
there?
ahead is he?
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming he's still playing. I'd say he's well ahead of the second place, but we don't know.
Well, Newcastle Rugby League's got over 100 years. There's nothing. I know there's a couple of stat people out there who's collected a lot of stuff, but again, they want to keep it to themselves. They don't want to share. I don't know why.
No.
But
I mean, the other issue is compiling it all, and it'd be a shame. I always look for money from other people, but could you employ someone to do all this in one fell swoop and I always look at the NRL profits, feed it down, and just try to have some sort of collection, like you say, because I think if you just said you've got individual statisticians out there, they might all have useful stuff, but if we don't pool it together, then they pass away or they move on or they lose it or there's a fire and they lose their bit and they lose their bit. But for one person to compile it all is a big job too.
Yeah, Josh Spiegelman, I've just given you another job out there, mate, if you're listening.
Well,
I just thought it's an interesting thing. Like, it's just hard to, like, I know talking to other commentators who do various competitions around that we cover, it's very hard to find info, especially further back. So anyway, it's something to ponder.
I guess maybe there are people who are passionate about it individually. It's just maybe compiling and getting their information, putting it all together, which may be one big job for one person that may take time, but it'd be worth it. Like you say, it's different. Let's say when these books come out, some of the stuff you read in those, you go, oh my God, I never realised that happened.
Yes.
And you think, if it wasn't for someone telling that story in that book, I can't find any of that stuff on the internet. Like the info, that book I talk about where they went down to Robertson Spuddies and they talked about the US Rugby League tours of the 50s or 60s or stuff. I'm like, that's not anywhere on the net.
No.
So yeah, you're right. I agree.
All right. And I say all the best to the Pro 10 Cup getting their season underway.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah, fantastic. Can't wait.
I've just got one little thing. Cessnock Goannas. Imogen Edwards did the Kokoda Trail over in Papua New Guinea. Yeah. Took a bit of Goannas merch, which we like to see. Yeah. And Cessnock Goannas now just have probably another 20 or 30 supporters wandering around with the Goannas shirts on. Yeah. I'll put a photo up if you're listening. And so while you're driving on the podcast version, go to Cessnock Goannas Facebook page. Yeah. They've got plenty of merch for sale as well. So make sure you can be like those Papua New Guinean supporters now.
Yes.
Get yourself a cap, get yourself a jumper. I love the old Tyrrell's retro jersey too.
Yeah, I love a good retro jersey. And Imogen did plenty, so I'm not asking to do anything more. But if she could have, or someone could have said, look, you can actually watch them on BarTV.
Yeah.
The PNG people love rugby league. But like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Really? Suddenly you might have like a little collection of Goannas fans watching the game every week in the middle of Moresby or somewhere.
Yeah, so I was just saying, I'm not sure how good Wi-Fi reception would be on the Kokoda Trail, but
they'll find a way. They'll find a way. But once they get back, they kick back. So it's been a long couple of weeks doing this. I'm going to kick back and watch the Goannas play the Scorpions or something.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So, well done. That's around the groups. Yes, some interesting stuff there. Looking forward to Magic Round up at Group 4 this weekend. Scully Park. Yeah. It's now going to be known as Sully Park because our man, James Sully Sullivan, is going to commentate all the games up there.
He's got a big weekend ahead of him.
Yeah, I think he has a big weekend every week.
He doesn't mind. No,
sometimes footy commentary's not involved.
No.
But no, it's going to be it's going to be a magic weekend up there at Tamworth. So hopefully a lot of the locals get behind it, and it's great that they're incorporating Group 4 games as well in the middle. So it's going to be fantastic.
What I especially like when you see the draw is how they've sprinkled the Group 4 games in between the New South Wales Cup games. Yeah. So I originally thought, maybe they'll have one day of Group 4 and one day of New South Wales Cup. And I thought, that's okay. But because they've meshed them together like they have, you can sit back and you might be, like, I'm here to watch some high quality, New South Wales Cup. But, hey, look, Moree Boars are playing Dunwogan next. I'm going to watch them as well. Yeah. So you're kind of giving everyone the opportunity to have a little taste of everything.
Yeah.
fantastic.
No, it's going to be a great weekend up there. So all the best to everyone involved. And you can obviously watch all the games here on BarTV Sports. So if you're listening to this or watching this, you just have to subscribe to get on and watch those games. It's $20 a month where you get a 48-hour pass, and 50% of that goes back to your local comp that you support. So make sure you tick that as well, and make sure it goes to the right place.
And it's got a great app. Sorry, I'm harping on that. The app is fantastic for BarTV. I'll be doing that. What I love about Magic Weekend as well, they've set a Friday night game. Werris Creek are playing Gunnedah, and there's a women's game prior to that, which I don't think we've got enough info on who's playing who there. But it's almost like a standalone on the weekend. Friday night football, Werris Creek versus Gunnedah. So make sure you get out to that game or watch that game as well, because I think it's kind of cool that they've also whacked a Friday night game on, and it's not one of the New South Wales Cup games. They're like, no, we're going to get Werris Creek, Gunnedah. They're not. Werris Creek's not too far from Tamworth. I don't.
They're both about, I think, 40 minutes from
nice.
memory.
Okay, so that they might get some crowd rolling up there. But if you're going to come for the weekend and you're up there anyway, it'd be a no-brainer to say, look, we'll go down to Sully Park, early on Friday night, couple of beers, watch the game, and then roll in there at 1 o'clock the next day and watch a whole heap of rugby league and into Sunday.
Take your tent, camp on the hill.
Yeah, I reckon they wouldn't mind, actually. It's a great ground. I went there years ago, and you're really close to the action. Love that about some of those country grounds where you can almost touch the guys on the bench, and when you try to, they look at you weird. But not saying anything about Willie Mason when I went and watched a trial up there once. Hey, Willie, how you doing? And anyway, we'll leave it there. But really close, beautiful, picturesque, trees, lovely. Can't wait to watch it. I wish I was going, but I can't wait to watch it.
All right. There'll be plenty of big hits, you reckon, up there too.
Oh, hell yeah.
But there was a few good big hits that happened on the weekend. Here's 5 that we thought were pretty damn good. First up, we have Bishop Neal, New Zealand Warriors.
Rostron, he gets hit by the clothesline. Absolute Bishop Neal said, where are you going?
Next up, Jack Owens, Dapto Canaries. And just comes out of the line. Jack, both players were sore after that one.
Play on.
Here it is in the replay. I don't blame them for staying down. Next up, Tyrone McDonald, small, under 19s, West Belconnen. Just a nice driving tackle on the Queanbeyan Blues fullback. Well done to Tyrone there. Premier Reserve grade, Jake Fowler of the West Brisbane Panthers. 13 on 13.
Slow-mo. Oh, wow.
And finally, Byron Webber, Albion Park Oak Flat Eagles, second grade. Man. Both of them get airborne, the tackler and the tackle.
I love airborne. You're right. Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Held.
They're our big hits of the week. As we say, if you've seen better, let us know. Just send an email through to contact@bartvsports.com.au. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere else, I think.
Yep, sounds fantastic.
Places. Yeah. And of course, the website and the app. Make sure you download it if you're thinking about it. Don't think anymore, just do it.
No, makes life easy. I just flick between games all weekend.
All right, let's get into the fixtures happening this weekend. As we said, it's Magic Round up in Tamworth. That's happening. The Knock-On Effect Cup, round 11, I think it is. Anyway, it's Magic Round. That's all that matters. Penrith and West do battle at 11 a.m. Newcastle and Norths at 3 p.m. They're all on Saturday. Newtown and Dragons Sunday at 11 a.m. Manly and Sydney Roosters at 1 p.m. and Parramatta and Canterbury at 3 p.m. Sunday. There is one other game that's happening at Collegians on the Saturday between the New Zealand Warriors and Canberra. Souths have the bye, but it's going to be a magnificent Magic Round up there at Tamworth.
Fantastic. And then on to Jersey Flegging, kick off your weekend at 7 o'clock on Friday. Watch Penrith versus West Tigers. Saturday at 12 o'clock, the Warriors play Canberra. Bulldogs versus the Eels, Saturday at 12:30. Saturday at 1 o'clock, watch South play the Silktails. Dragons play Cronulla at 3:10 on Saturday, and Melbourne play on Sunday, 11:30 against Newcastle. As well as, I nearly missed one, Sydney play Manly on Sunday at 3.
Nice. Ron Massey Cup, round 8. St Mary's, they're at home to Ryde Eastwood. You got Glebe at home to Blacktown Workers. Canterbury travel to Wentworthville, and Hills Bulls, they're at home to Penrith Brothers.
Yeah, looking at Illawarra round 3. De La Salle are up against the Collies. That'll be a cracker of a game. Thrill are up against Dapto, and Corrimal are playing West.
We're round 5, Group 7. Lost my train of thought there. Berry at home to Jamboree. They'll be keen to get on after having a washout last week. Albion Park host Gerringong. That will be a ripper. So to this one, Milton, Ulladulla and Kiama, and Stingrays and Shellharbour Sharks. The Battle of Shellharbour.
Yeah, brilliant. That's an ultimate grudge match. Canberra, round 5. We're looking at Woden Valley hosting Tuggeranong, Gungahlin against Goulburn City, Belconnen against Queanbeyan Blues, and Queanbeyan Roos against Yass.
What have we got? Group 9, round 4. Wagga Kangaroos, they host Junee. Cootamundra at home to Albury. Gundagai host Young. South City, do battle with Tumut. And Temora v Wagga Brothers. That is the Challenge Cup fixture as well.
Yeah.
I mentioned before. How much start do you think Wagga Brothers have got?
That's a funny one because, Temora's taken it in a 40-0 kind of drubbing, but really, it's their first week. So I would say 16.
16? Well, if I'm Larry Emger, I'd say higher.
Higher!
Yeah.
Okay, 24?
Keep going.
Oh.
Well, we could go on higher. I'll just let the cat out of the bag. You want to keep going, yeah.
30.
Higher.
Oh, no! 40.
Higher again.
Oh, no. Jesus. Sorry.
47 and a half start
Jesus.
Wagga Brothers have against Temora. So that means Temora have to win 48-0 or, from there.
But we'll talk about it. I'm sure there's talk down there after this week about there's a committee that decides the points, a group, an independent body, a bunch of citizens.
Yeah.
Selected at random, I'm guessing. I don't know, but they're saying that someone has to make this decision. I'm not going to bag them because who wants that job? Because you're always going to have people go, this is too much, this is too little. But someone has to do it.
I think it's good. I mean, Wagga Brothers, they are struggling a little bit. They got a touch up against Albury on the weekend, but 47 and a half start. Temora now, no, they've got to have win of 48 or more, basically. But Wagga Brothers, geez, if we hold them off here, we get to host the Challenge Cup next week.
Yeah, I agree with that they've got something to play for when it could potentially be 24-0 or 30-0 or something like that. You can say, no, we're still in this. Yeah. We might be out of it, but we're still in it. So it does add that bit of flavour to the comp.
Yeah.
And you're right. If it was something more, conservative, probably would have taken a lot of interest out of it. So this has created a lot of interest. So bring it on. Now, NSWRL is back. All games, round 4 on Sunday. There's going to be some crackers. Northern United are hosting Byron Bay. Ballina up against Coogin. That'll be a good one. Mullumbimby play Kyogle. Moolumbar are playing Balamble. Tweed Coast are up against Mars Brothers, and Tweed Heads against Casino. And Lower Clarence play Evans Head. Is that a sort of derby?
Yeah, it's pretty close. The Southern Derby.
Southern Derby, yeah, nice. Beauty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Newcastle Rugby League, round 5, Denton Engineering Cup, Cessnock v Maitland, big grudge match. That is the feature match. Macquarie host Lakes, Battle of Lake Macquarie. Central host Curry. And on Sunday, you've got the entrance v Wyong, the Central Coast Derby, and Souths hosting Northern Hawks. West have the bye.
Down the Central Coast, round 5, the entrants are up against Wyong. Berkeley Vale are playing Arimba. Terrigal against Tukli. Kingumber against Erina, with Woy Woy having the bye. All those games are on Sunday.
Yeah, bit of a double-up feature matches. The entrance v Wyong, that's the round for the Central Coast as well.
Yeah,
so,
nice. Bring it on.
Yeah, you got the Denton Cup afterwards.
Yeah.
EDSAC's the place to be on a Sunday.
Yeah, bring it on. That'll be great.
Finally, Southern Sydney, round 5. Engadine hosts St Joey's. De La Salle at home to St John Bosco. Gamia and Como Janelli do battle. That's Southern Sydney.
Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant. Going to be a lot of great footy on the weekend.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's about it from the CRL show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously, we've got the new background. We might have something a little bit different too for you next week for Queenslanders. So
nice.
We'll
can't wait.
Yeah, tune in. Hopefully,
yeah, getting ready for Origin too. Yeah, coming up. So everyone gets their divide between Queensland and New South Wales folks. So can't wait.
All right, that's all from me, Paul Arandale.
Geoff Stevenson.
We'll catch you next week on the CRL show.
See ya.